Hello, I'm Wayne Tunks, and welcome to Rate This Pop. Last week, I reviewed a fairly new album. Well, I'm headed back to the 90s this week because I have become one of those people that music was so much better when I was younger. No, I do love music from all different generations, but there is something about the late 80s and early 90s that just really does make me happy. 1992 was such a great year for music. I was in year 12 at high school, and just music was what got me through. And so I decided this week that I would take a look at the Australian top 50 singles from 1992 and I would rank my top 10 singles, which was very hard because there were just so many good songs. But let's start off, shall we, at number 10, and it is Ain't No Doubt. When I started making the list, I did not think that Jimmy Nail was going to be included. But I thought I would take all the songs that I liked and I would put them in a playlist and I would have a listen again. And when I listened to this song, I just went, I love this song. I remember it, I love it, and it just still sounds so fresh. And yes, I think there is a little of me loving Jimmy Nail because he was in Evita. We know I love Madonna, and I love that movie. I saw it 5 times at cinema. And Jimmy Nail is a really great character, and this song is just fantastic. It has a lot of character, and I think it still holds up quite well. And I really love when you have the female voice, and then he says, she's lying. It just works really, really well. Sure, he's not the best vocalist in the world. He doesn't need to be because it's a fun song. And the film clip was fantastic as well. I loved seeing the female voices were the phone operators and just not seeing much of their faces. And it just all tied in together and worked. And I guess when you think about songs that you liked when you were younger, it's the ones that often elicit emotions, but it's also the ones that make you remember fun times. And this was a fun song that I like to listen to. So that's why it is at number 10. Now, coming in at number 9 is Whitney Houston with I Will Always Love You. I love Whitney Houston. It's the celebrity death that hit me the hardest. I sobbed. And by sob, I mean sobbed. But this is not one of my favourites of hers, but I still love it. I think it's probably middle range for Whitney singles for me, but there's no denying that it's a powerful song, it's beautiful, and just an exceptional cover. Since hearing the Whitney version, I went back and rediscovered the Dolly version, and I listened to the Dolly version quite a lot, and I love the Dolly version. I think it's really good. But Whitney just took that song, ran with it, and just made it even better. And I think Dolly agrees with that as well. She absolutely loves the cover. It's really great. It shows how ridiculous her voice was and just how talented she was. And it's just a really beautiful song. It also worked incredibly well in The Bodyguard. And, you know, who hasn't tried to hit those notes and failed every single time? But that part with the big bump, so good. Absolutely love it. And I don't listen to it as much as other Whitney songs, but when I hear it, I still really enjoy it. Now, coming in at number 8 is Salt and Pepper with Let's Talk About Sex. I love this song, and I love Salt and Pepper, and it would be up there as one of my favourites of theirs. It was just revolutionary at the time because it was this sort of slightly naughty thing, and I absolutely loved it. I remember buying the CD single, and back then I couldn't really afford to buy many CD singles, but this one I definitely bought, and I played it to death. Just really, really enjoyed it. It was a really great message. The message, so powerful back then to talk about safe sex. It was so important and such a great thing. But also, it's a really funky song. And Salt and Pepper and Spinderella had such great attitude. And they were the pioneers for ladies in the rap game. They were charting before so many other rappers, male or females, were charting. And it was just a really great thing. And they were so popular in Australia, and I just really love them. For me, they could do no wrong around this time. This was great. Do You Want Me? What a Man with En Vogue. Oh, great song. That's probably my favourite of theirs. They just had this fantastic attitude, and the lyrics are quirky and clever, which I really appreciate. Coming in at number 7 is George Michael and Too Funky. Safe sex messages were so important around this time. We were in the middle of the AIDS epidemic and it was killing people and it was terrible. And so let's talk about sex was important. And then other people were raising money as well. And Red Hot and Dance was a really fantastic compilation album, which was raising money for AIDS awareness and AIDS research. And it was really great. And this was the lead single from it. It had so many other good songs on there as well. I remember it had remixes of PM Dawn and Seal, and it had Madonna's Supernatural. But the lead single was Too Funky, and it is a great song. It's just George Michael at his best. He just could do pop music so well. The beat's great. His voice has so much attitude. And again, the film clip was amazing. It could have just seemed like it was a rip-off of Freedom because he was using models again. But using it with the catwalk, and it was just a really fun clip. Clips in the early 90s were just incredibly fun. I think it was before everyone started taking themselves far too seriously. And this was so fun. I love the single, and I also really love at the end the voice, the woman telling everyone that she needs to go to sleep. Fantastic song. Love it. All right, coming in at number 6 is Take It From Me by Girlfriend. Overseas viewers might not know Girlfriend. I featured them on the very first episode. No, very second, third? I don't know. I featured them on my podcast right at the beginning. This is a great song. Aussie girl band, Girlfriends. They had a massive number 1 with this song. Take It From Me was really everywhere in 1992. And it was just great that it was an Aussie group that was doing it. And they were so fun. Just the image I loved. They really loved a bit of double denim. They also loved hats with flowers in them. Great stuff. And the lead vocalist, the best vocalist, sorry other ladies, was Robin Lau. She was from my hometown of Blacktown. And just great vocals from her. And just a really fun song. Pop music is not a bad thing. Pop music is fantastic. I love it so very much. And this song is just pure pop. And it's for enjoyment. And that's what I get from it. And I loved all the things that Girlfriend released, all their albums. But this first album really had some great stuff. And this was the best song. This is their best song, hands down. It's possibly one of the best all-girl band songs ever from Australia. And if you don't agree with that, fight me. All right, coming in at number 5 is Vanessa Williams and Save the Best for Last. Vanessa Williams has a really interesting story. First black woman to win Miss America, then the title was taken from her because she had posed nude. Which now, of course, seems ridiculous because I feel like everybody's nudes are out there somewhere. Do you have mine? Anyway. Can't believe I'm thinking about whether I should cut it. I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to let that go through. So yes, she had that title taken off her, which a lot of people at the time said had a lot to do with her race, which I would probably agree with. So how infuriating for those people that took the title that she went on to have such a successful career. She is still working today. She's an amazing actress. Her role in Ugly Betty was the best thing about that show, and it's one of my favourite shows of all time. Her music career was also stellar. She had some incredible songs over the years. This is her best one, hands down. It's a beautiful track. It is just stunning. It's exquisite. Her voice is really lovely, and the message of the song is wonderful, and it's just one of those songs that I hear it and it just makes me feel like I'm in a warm, all-encompassing hug, which sometimes you need. It's a really good track. I don't know what else to say. I enjoy it lyrically, and I just enjoy the song, and I just enjoy the feeling that it gives me. All right, coming in at number 4 is Boyz II Men, End of the Road. We belong together. Oh, fantastic song. I did talk about Boyz II Men when I did my 90s boy band video, but this song is just so good. It is my favourite of theirs. It just is an exceptional song. And I think ballads were really big back then. Ballads were allowed to be popular back then. Now, you're not allowed to like ballads because it's all about selling Spotify playlists, and songs have to run for 2 minutes something, and they have to be dancing, get straight to the chorus because they want you to listen to the whole song all the way through. Back in the 90s, you could have a ballad. Songs could build. They could go for a bit longer. And this song is just exceptional. I just love how it progresses, and then the talking part is just amazing. It started a trend in R&B music to have guys doing that whole talk spot. It's just a fantastic song, and their harmonies ridiculous. Boys to Men back in the day, nobody could touch them. All right, coming in at number 3 is The Best Things in Life Are Free by Janet Jackson and Luther Vandross. I love Janet Jackson. And I know at the moment there's this whole war between Madonna and Janet Jackson fans. I don't care. I love Madonna. She's my favourite. But Janet is right up there in my top 5 artists of all time. Possibly top 3 artists. I don't know. It fluctuates on a weekly basis. I just love what she was doing in the late 80s, early 90s. And this song is another one that just brings me pure joy. It takes me back to a time where music was the most important thing in my life, and I would listen to this song endlessly. I got the Mo Money soundtrack, which was the film that this was from, and just listened to it a lot. And I really liked the original version that came out. It was remixed later for her Greatest Hits album, and it took out BBD. But I really love the rap in there as well. I think it works really well. Luther Vandross had a fantastic voice, and it's just a shame that the only time he really hit in Australia was duets. It was this song and his duet with Mariah Carey, because he deserved more fame in this country because he just had an incredible voice. But I can see why his duets went so well, because he sang so well with other people. And him and Janet, they just sat together so wonderfully. And it's a fun song, also with a really positive and great message. Yeah, good fun dance song. I'm going to go listen to it after this and have a bit of a dance around my bedroom. And coming up next at number 2 is Stay by Shakespeare's Sister. Stay by Shakespeare's Sister is exceptional in every single way. I remember the first time that I heard this song. On a Sunday afternoon, I used to do my homework for the week. I wasn't the best at doing homework, but Sunday afternoon is when I would do it. And I would sit there and listen to the American Top 40 on the radio. That was when I did the homework. Then after that, they used to play the UK Top 10. And I'd finished homework by that time, and I used to sit in my bed, sit up in my bed with my headphones on, lights off, and just listen to all the songs on the countdown. And that's why I fell in love with so many British songs at the time. And I just remember the first time that this song played, it had entered the top 10. And I knew Shakespeare's Sister. I had their first album and loved their first album, so I was so excited to hear it. And when I heard it, I was surprised. It was not what I was expecting at all. It was better. Marcella Detroit's voice is ridiculous. She is fantastic. And then when Siobhan Fay comes in with "You better hope and pray," I sang that as an old Jewish woman apparently. But when she comes in and sings, it is just great. It is kooky. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't work, but it works so well. And then I remember watching the music video again, and it just took my love to an even bigger level. You know, seeing Marcella being the grieving woman, and then Siobhan coming in as, I don't know, what was she deaf? And then them fighting over this man. Just fantastic stuff. I was so upset that they sort of disbanded after that, because they just were amazing. And I love Siobhan's work in Bananarama. And I hated that she left that group, but if she didn't leave, we wouldn't have got Shakespeare's Sister. So that makes it okay, because they had some really good stuff. And that second album from them, Hormonally Yours, was even better than the first album. I Don't Care, great single. Hello, great single. Love the whole lot. Okay, before we move on to number 1, let's do the special mentions that just missed out on getting in my top 10. So the special mentions were Love You Right by Euphoria, The Day You Went Away by Wendy Matthews, Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough by Patti Smythe and Don Henley, and Rhythm Is a Dancer by Snap. Those songs just missed out. And funnily enough, 2 ballads and 2 dance songs, also 2 Aussie songs as well. Each of them really great songs that I still love. Euphoria probably hasn't held up as well. It was a very of its moment dance song, but I still love it. Snap, Rhythm Is a Dancer, classic. And then 2 beautiful ballads. Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough. I talked about that on my podcast not too long ago. Just a really lovely song, and I think I appreciate it more now as I'm older and certainly understand the sentiments behind that song. And Wendy Matthews, The Day You Went Away. Stunning song about loss. It's just beautiful, and Wendy Matthews' voice is incredible, and I just wish she would have had more international recognition because she certainly deserved it. So check out those songs. Now, the number 1 song for me from 1992 from the top 50 on the Australian charts is Madonna, This Used to Be My Playground. There can only be one, and of course that one is Madonna. Anyone who knows me briefly just knows that I adore Madonna. She is my favourite artist. I love her. I just think that what she does is exceptional. And around this time, her work was so good. My favourite album of all time was Like a Prayer. It was my first episode. Go back and have a look if you haven't seen it yet, from 1989. But then she just really kept progressing with the music and just making great stuff. And This Used to Be My Playground is such an amazingly special song. The orchestration is great. It was the first time that Madonna had used that level of orchestration, and it just was great. Her vocals are beautiful. They're whimsical. And it really elicits a great emotion. And if you've seen A League of Their Own, it fits perfectly into that film. Just a really great song, special. And I'm really sad that she's never performed it live, because I would have loved to have seen her sing this one live. It's a really special song. I've listened to it many times in my life, and it still makes me happy, but also makes me a little sad. So there's this really great melancholic feeling that I get from This Used to Be My Playground. Unfortunately, Erotica, which I loved in 1992, it was like 50-something in the Aussie charts for the year, so just missed out because it would have been right up there. But I still think, between Erotica and This Used to Be My Playground, I'm glad I didn't have to make that decision. I probably would have tied the number 1 vote. I don't know. But yes, my number 1 song from that list is This Used to Be My Playground. Just really exceptional, but so many good songs. Down below, I have included the link to the top 50 songs. So let me know what your top 10 songs from the year were, or even just your favourite song if you don't feel like doing the top 10. You know what? I don't care about rules. Just write whatever you want to write. Just tell me your favourite songs from the time. But thank you for tuning in again. I hope that you have a great week, and I'll be back again next week. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, so I'll have to have a think about it. I am open to suggestions. So thank you for joining in. Make sure to join the socials. Also to like this video and press subscribe. And I will catch you again next time. Tongues out.